This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Welcome to Usapang Bayan. Ako po ang inyong host na si George Chua. Ngayong gabi po ay kasama natin ang ating mabuting senator, si Senator Sonny Angara. Welcome to our show, Senator.
Thank you very much, George, and to our audience watching. Magandang gabi din.
Yeah, well, you know, the Angara family has had a legacy, no, that was that is well carried by the Filipinos, no. So maybe you can start telling us about how your dad got involved in politics and how you carried on with his name.
Well, thank you, George, for mentioning that. No, first of all, my father, Senator Angara, who passed away in May of this year, was a senator for 4 terms. Siya yung unang after EDSA who reached 4 terms, and he was also a former cabinet member sa Agriculture and Executive Secretary. And I think hindi siya kilala ng mga bata, but for the siguro yung mga middle-aged, not quite millennials, not quite senior citizens, that middle group, I think kilala siya bilang education and health and agriculture advocate. I think he, medyo unusual yung route niya sa politics. He was UP president, and then when EDSA happened in 1986, he was drafted to run for public office. And his first assignment was, his first 2 committees were education and health. Sabi nga niya nun, nobody wanted the Committee on Education. Everyone wanted the Finance or Tax Committee, all these committees. And then, so, ang unang niyang, one of his first and most well-known reforms was the free high school education law.
Wow. So sa kanya pala nag-umpisa yun?
Yes, because the Constitution says that high school must be free, but there was no enabling law. So pinasa niya yon. And he's also very loved by our teachers kasi I think after EDSA in 1986, the salary of a public school teacher was 3,000 pesos a month.
Wow.
So I think he doubled or tripled it. He sponsored a bill which naging 8,000 eh.
Dumoble, mahigit doble.
So mahigit doble.
Oo.
So the teachers never forgot that. And then he also is known for yung government assistance to students and teachers in private education. It's referred to as the GASPE, or some know it as the Education Service Contracting. Basically, it was bago napasa namin the present Senate and the House of Representatives. Before we passed the free college tuition, the universal access to quality tertiary education, yung libreng tuition sa college, yun yung biggest scholarship program ng gobyerno. Wow. So millions ang napaaral ng programang yun.
So marami pala dapat ipagpasalamat ang ating mga public school, high school students, no? Dahil kasi kay Senator Angara, yung papa nyo, ang nagawa ng enabling law that allowed them to have free high school education.
That's right. But also yung sa private education, yung nabanggit ko yung GASPE. That's why a lot of those in the private schools, yung mga mahihirap nakapag-aral sa private school dahil sa batas na yon. Kasi dati walang government program na lagi lahat ng pera ng gobyerno na pupunta sa mga public schools. But at the time, hindi katulad ngayon na marami ng classroom, marami ng buildings. Dati talagang kulang na kulang. So what they did was develop a program where voucher system, yung ginagawa sa advanced countries like the UK, where yung estudyante ang nabibigyan ng voucher, siya pipili kung saan niya gusto mag-aral.
Pero before your father, was there anybody else who was in government service in your family?
Well, his father was a mayor for a few years sa small town namin sa Baler, Aurora. But
okay.
back in the, I think in the 60s or the 50s. So,
Yes.
so
So, pero was he affiliated with any particular political organization?
well, he was very close to President Quezon. Parang protege siya ni President Quezon because President Manuel Quezon was born and grew up in Baler. So, yung mga taga Quezon, taga Aurora, yan mga proteges ni President Manuel Quezon. And my lolo was one of them.
I see, I see. Eh, kayo naman ho ngayon, are you affiliated with any political party?
Well, my father was the president of our political party, the Laban ng Demokratikong Pilipino.
Okay.
I was a member of the executive council. But nung namatay siya sa May, nagulat kaming lahat. And being the highest elected official of our party, LDP, or Laban ng Demokratikong Pilipino, they asked me to take his place. So I was elected last September. And it's quite a challenge. Bilib na bilib ako sa tatay ko dahil ang dami niyang trabaho, bukod sa Senado, bukod sa pagiging abogado, educator. He had so many projects on the side. Ang dami niyang gustong gawin. Gusto niya magtayo ng hospital, gusto niya magtayo ng museum.
Para makatulong sa mga ating kapwa Pilipino.
He really saw so many problems. Kahit hindi na siya Senador, George.
Yes,
He was no longer a senator from 2013. But he conceived of all these projects na makakatulong. Yung trauma hospital sa Aurora, he wanted that because ang daming namamatay sa road accidents.
Yes.
And sabi niya, you need 30 minutes to 1 hour para matreat yung isang victim of trauma. Otherwise, malaki yung chance na mamamatay yun.
Sino ho ba ang mga elected officials ngayon na kapartido nyo?
Well, we have some congressmen, then we have some governors. And surprisingly, when a lot of officials filed in this 2019 elections, they used LDP also.
Ah, really?
So that's a pleasant surprise.
So lumalaki ho ang
Yes,
inyong
in Cebu,
grupo.
in Zamboanga, of course in Aurora, in our province. And in Davao, we have some officials who filed as LDP. No?
Well, I know that you'll be running for re-election as well for
Yes,
this coming term. Yes.
2019.
Paano, ano naman ho ang inyong mga advokasya? What are your favorite things that you're trying to help in or propose?
Alam mo, George, sa dami-dami ng problema ng bansa,
Yes.
we really want to focus on human development and on providing opportunities, meaning yung job creation. I think the Philippines, yun ang kulang sa atin eh. In the past decade, gumanda yung education policy natin. And we've devoted a lot of resources to education. Just to give you an example, nung bandang 2011-2012, our college education budget was only around 6 to 7 billion pesos. But for next year, I'm also the vice chair of the Committee on Finance, almost 50 billion or 50 billion pesos na. So you can see, halos times 8 na yung budget for college. And the main reason is that we passed yung free college tuition law. So a lot of that is the subsidy na ibibigay sa mga mahihirap na estudyante para makapag-aral
So
ng
in
college.
short, pinagpapatuloy nyo yung legacy ng tatay nyo na you're focusing on education and providing for the teachers and also for the student discounts. Ano ho naman yung mga student discounts na ginagawa nyo para sa ating mga
tama yung
kababayan?
sinabi nyo, George, no? We're trying to build on the institutions he built. My father also authored the laws that built TESDA, CHED. So these are the ones which educate our people. Pero kulang na lang nga, minsan yung mga ine-educate natin, nag-aalisan. So,
Nag-abroad,
yeah. So one educational expert said, parang it seems that we are educating for migration. Parang nagiging tayong labor factory for the world. And our main export, rather than it being our fruits or our finished products, is our people. So parang yun ang dapat, we'd like to see a reversal of that in the coming years.
Actually, tama po kayo dyan. Dahil kasi I'm also the president of the Federation of Philippine Industries. And our advocacy is buy Pinoy, buy local. No?
Yes.
And we'd also like to provide our fellow Filipinos with jobs. Pero sa katunayan lang po, kahit na gusto natin na magkaroon ng mas malawak na mga negosyo, kuminsan ho ay napakahirap ng ating ease of doing business.
Yes.
No? And as you know, our record for ease of doing business has been kind of spotty because of nga, marami ho tayong mga regulations at requirements that many people say are not business friendly. So, what are you going to be helping out in trying to remove more of the red tape, and
Yes,
what are your
definitely.
actions
We
towards that?
co-authored and we supported the Ease of Doing Business Act, the anti-red tape amendment. And I think the president just appointed yung parang head of that agency. That's going to be a very important agency,
Okay.
George, no? Kasi talagang they will monitor how local governments, how difficult or how easy it is to issue permits. And yan ang reklamo ng ating mga negosyante or investors. Ang dami daw kakausapin, tapos pa iba-ibang desisyon, may barangay, may munisipyo, may city, may provincial, tapos may national pa. So parang hindi nila alam kung saan ang katapusan nitong pag-uusap. Gusto na nila magnegosyo. So that's one thing we should look at, no? We of course we value our democracy, we value the fact that there's a lot of consultation and decisions. But we should also dapat tinitingnan din natin yung ginagawa ng ating mga kapitbahay. And then later a while ago you asked me, George, about the student discounts bill.
Yes.
We're pushing that because I was a beneficiary of that when I was studying in Europe and in the UK.
Yes.
Nakita ko meron silang discounts sa lahat ng bagay sa mga estudyante.
Including
So,
fares, yung mga
transport, pag pumunta ka ng museum, manood ka ng sine, sumakay ka ng barko, sumakay ka ng eroplano, bumili ka ng libro,
Tama,
lahat
yan.
yan may diskwento sa estudyante. So as a student with limited budget, I appreciated that I was able to do all of these things and experience all of these things despite my limited funding. At sabi ko, given that the Philippines is such a young country in terms of age. Yung average age natin, 20 plus. And sa Southeast Asia, tayo yung pinakabata. So, kahit nag-age na yung populations ng ibang bansa, George, we will still have a young population. So, what we must do is give them all the opportunities to improve themselves.
maganda po yan, lalo na yung ginagawa sa TESDA na binibigyan sila ng mga learning opportunities on jobs that they can really find positions for. No?
Yes.
Dahil kasi useless naman yung education kung wala namang trabahong mahahanap.
That's right. And part of our advocacy, George, because I had a few years as acting chair of the Labor Committee in the Senate. So, talagang nagtulak tayo ng mga programa to make it easier for young people to find work. Kasi yun ang lumalabas according to research. It's very difficult. It takes too long for a young person to find a job. Parang 1 year to 2 years ang average job search. So, sayang yung oras na sayang yung manpower. Employers are looking for employees. So it's a question of matching. So we passed a lot of laws. We tried to improve the government programs on job seeking, on yung tinatawag na peso. We required all municipalities to have a peso. Yung peso yung Public Employment Service Office.
Wow, nice.
So yun ang talagang all the companies pupunta doon sa isang lugar, let's say some remote municipality in Mindanao, at tatanungin nila, ano ang graduates niyo dito, anong mga industriya dito.
So kahit papano nakikita ko yung ating unemployment rate ay bumababa na.
Yes, I think slowly it's coming into focus, but if we really have the investors, kasi mababa yung FDI natin or foreign direct investment kumpara sa ating mga kapitbahay. Yung Vietnam talagang sumisipa ngayon kasi very investor friendly sila. Tayo, we have to develop the supply, yung tinatawag na supply chain ng mga negosyante. Alam niyo yan, George, no? And natatalo tayo sa mga bansa tulad ng Thailand. Kaya lahat ng car manufacturers naglipatan sa Thailand, di ba? Kasi very friendly yung kanilang...
Actually, yung automotive industry natin yun medyo bumaba, ano?
Yeah.
It shrunk by about almost 14%.
Right.
So hopefully we'll be able to reverse that trend.
That's right. But we have, hopefully also, other than people buying cars, they buy cars with parts that are manufactured here.
Yes.
Kasi yun ang nawala sa
Local content.
yung tinatawag na supply chain, di ba?
That's right.
Hindi lang assemble or yun yung gusto natin.
We need to have a station break. Please stay tuned and we will be right back with our guest, Senator Sonny Angara.